Hey, what up, YouTube? I'm gonna make this video from the comfort of my couch. I guess I can take my glasses off to get rid of that little glare or whatever. But I want to make this video real quick. It's on my mind. I want to make sure I remember everything that I need to remember. I've already had a somewhat busy day, but this is my take or whatever. I'm not a sports reporter. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a Chicagoan. I'm just a Chicago Bears fan, Chicago Bulls fan, for the most part. Could even say a Blackhawks fan. When the Blackhawks are doing well, the city's doing well, right? White Sox. I'm a South Sider. Let's be honest. Um, but yeah, the Bears. All of this stuff is going on right now. Justin Fields unfollowed the Bears. Supposedly unfollowed the NFL. His dog has unfollowed the Chicago Bears. He goes on a podcast with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Equinemius St. Brown, right? He's just clearing the air. I'm unfollowing because it's just all this social media stuff in general, right? The fans, I hear the fans saying this, that, the other, and he's saying like the algorithm essentially, because he follows the Bears, because he follows the NFL, because he follows ESPN, because he follows basically the sports world, he has to deal with the stuff that everybody and their mom is saying every day, right? And I get it. He is a human at the end of the day. That is the thing that needs to be understood. This is another human being. So I get it, right? That's his escape from the situation. The Bears haven't gone to him and said, Justin, you are still the guy, right? So because that hasn't happened, my guy's career, I don't want to say I don't want to say there's uncertainty. The only uncertainty is this. The only uncertainty is that there is no, there's no 100% on whether he'll be in Chicago or somewhere else. That's the uncertainty. He's not in a situation where it's like he's the quarterback on a roster and he's about to get cut and probably not re-signed. Like, no, Justin Fields is going to be QB1 somewhere else. Simple as that. He is still going to be QB1 somewhere else. Like, you have to think, even when Mitch Trubisky, well, no, I take that back. Because if I remember correctly, when Mitch Trubisky left the Bears, he ended up with Buffalo as the backup, and then went from that to the Steelers, where technically he was the guy until he wasn't the guy anymore. That's not the Justin Fields situation, though. Even though it's kind of wild, Trubisky did have technically a winning season. Trubisky did make it to a playoff, and in all honesty, the Bears would have and should have beaten the Eagles if it did not come down to a kick. Technically, Mitch Trubisky's time in Chicago, overall, when it comes to like wins, losses, yada, 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 technically more successful than Justin Fields. But the upside on Justin Fields, like everybody knows, we have not tapped into anywhere near what Justin Fields could really be. Everybody knows that, right? That's what creates the situation, right? That's the reason why there's talks that, he potentially could be traded for a first rounder. Justin Fields is still that good, and he is still that young. People forget that part. He's young as hell still. Right? This is still a young football player. He ain't 25, he ain't 26, he ain't 27. He is still young. Now with years of experience under his belt, we already know he's dangerous running the ball, right? The thing has been developing him as a passer. That's been the big thing. So yeah, here's all I want to say. You got a lot of people who are like, Caleb Williams is the guy. I don't necessarily believe that. You got a lot of people who are like, Justin Fields is still the guy. Even then, technically, I don't necessarily 100% believe that. All I'm focused on is, here's the logical thoughts you have to have about this entire Justin Fields situation, whether you're trading him or not. Due diligence has to be done. And we're only in this situation because the Bears did not win the games they needed to win. If we redo this season and the games that the Bears should have won versus collapse and loss, potentially puts the Bears into the playoffs. Bears end up in the playoffs. We don't have this situation. This scenario doesn't exist. Like, that's the wildest thing. If Bears don't lose to Denver Broncos, right, that was a massive collapse. That was a massive collapse. Massive collapse. And I can't really blame Justin Fields. If you look at the outcome of that game, it wasn't really Justin Fields' fault why the Bears lost. Bears lose to the damn Browns. Who am I finna blame? Not really Justin Fields. All people can do is sit there and be like, well, we had our foot on the gas pedal. We was beating the Browns. And then something happened. We took our foot off the gas pedal. We became stagnant. We weren't continuing to put up points and da-da-da-da. Right? We should have won that game at the end of the day. There are too many games during this season where are there games where it's like, that's on Justin? Yeah, there's a couple, right? There's a couple situations where it's like, that's on Justin. He was doing a little bit too much. He's trying to run and scramble to get the, right? He's doing a little bit extra. He's trying to force this pass. He's trying to do that, right? The number of situations and scenarios where it's like, that's on Justin are far fewer than the situations and scenarios where it's like the defense literally collapsed and gave up 1 to 2 touchdowns within minutes and lost us the game, let's be honest, and or offensive play calling was atrocious. Offensive decision-making on a third down, a key critical third down, or a let's go for it on fourth, right? Who's going to get that ball? I can't even think of which game it was, but all I remember is the situation and scenario where it was like everybody, every fan of the Chicago Bears would have kept the ball in Justin Fields' hand. I can't even remember the play. I can't remember the game, the play. I just know it was a fourth down. And I think we ended up passing. I don't know if we ended up passing the ball or handing it off to somebody, but it was just like, in retrospect, everybody's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you not want the ball in the hands of your best players? And I said players, not player, right? Because if it's a fourth down situation, either that ball is staying in Justin Fields' hands or I'm giving it to DJ Moore. Them the only two people that's getting that ball in them scenarios. No, here come our dumbass play calls. Yeah, let's hand it off to da-da-da. Let's try to give it to Tyler Scott. No disrespect to Tyler Scott. Yeah, we going to try to hit Tyler Scott on some sort of sprint. Like, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. If I can go back game by game, right, because I'm just sitting here making this video real quick. I don't got a computer monitor in front of me. I don't got a sheet with my notes and this, that, the other. This is all off the top of the dome. But if I were to go back game by game, looking at the ones we won and the ones we lost, we should have beaten Detroit twice, right? Collapse, defensive collapse. Motherfuckers fell apart. No, that wasn't even just a defensive collapse. That was a defensive collapse combined with an offensive play caller that decided to go super conservative. We are beating the Detroit Lions. We are beating our division leader. You do not begin to play conservative. Keep your fucking foot on the gas pedal and run up the score. We are not a team that was in a situation where we should have been, oh yeah, let's run the ball on this third down and okay, we'll just go for the field goal. We'll run the ball, we'll punt it. No. We played super conservative, and what happened? Detroit came back and beat us. We should have beaten Detroit twice. Should never lost to Denver. shouldn't have lost to the Cleveland Browns. I feel like there's a couple other games in there where it's like, we should not have lost that game. You turn those 3 losses into 3 wins, I'm pretty sure we have a playoff team. We have a playoff team. Guess what? Bears are good. Nobody would have been sitting here like, is Justin Fields still going to be the guy? Are we trading him? This, that, the other. Here's the one other fucked up part. At the beginning of the year, most real sports people called it. They were like, the Bears were a 3-4 win team or whatever the year prior. Realistically, they should be improving to about an 8-9 win team, an 8 to 9 win team. For the Bears to go from the team they were the year prior instantly to a playoff team, that's not logical. It ain't logical. The Bears, yes, huge splash getting DJ Moore, but was that enough? We got DJ Moore, we got Tremaine Edmonds, we got Edwards. We made a couple of moves. But the team was not at the point on paper. In reality, we didn't make enough moves to sit there and be like, this is now a playoff team. This team this year in reality actually executed exactly what realistically should have happened. They doubled their win total. Trade Justin Fields. Trade Justin Fields, draft Caleb Williams. The fuck? That don't even make sense. You know why I think it began to turn into what it turned into? Was because once again, we're going back to these games that we lost that we should have won. Because people saw that there are games that we lost that we should have won, and technically that would have probably made the Bears a playoff team. For some reason, some way, somehow, it's like Justin Fields is the one whose head is on the chopping block. We got rid of Getsy. Perfect. That's exactly what should have happened. I actually did not mind Eberflus staying. I had a feeling that would happen. The defense came to life. They didn't come to life. Like, for some reason, they came to life, and then we got to that Cleveland game, and they jagged hard as hell, right? We got to the Green Bay game, and I don't know what the hell happened. Here's what it is with Green Bay. Green Bay is not necessarily better than the Chicago Bears. Green Bay is exponentially better coached than the Chicago Bears. That's the difference between Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears. They're a better coached team. They are a better coached team. Green Bay don't necessarily got just these superstars. That's like, yeah, Green Bay should be running up the score on people. That's the reason why Green Bay barely made it to the damn playoffs. Green Bay was not making it to the Super Bowl. The fact that they beat Dallas, great, excellent coached team. Now let's see if Jordan Love can do what he did this prior season again. Kudos to him. Kudos to Green Bay. I'll give props where props are due. They are an excellent coached team. I am not shocked that they were able to do what they were able to do. When you have an excellent coached team, you have a chance. You can have an excellent coach team full of B-average talent, B-average talent, throw in a couple of, A-caliber players, but for the most part, you really have like a C/B level of talent on that roster. Yeah, you can make it to the playoffs with that team. You can make it to the playoffs. You take this same Bears team, give us all of Green Bay's fucking coaching staff, Bears definitely make it to the playoffs because we almost made it with the team we had. What did it come down to? Poor play calls, poor coaching, and just straight up the will to finish just ain't there for some reason. Our defense be falling apart the moment we need them the most. The play calls don't make no damn sense when we need them to matter the most. Something else. And technically, this is a negative for Justin Fields. The difference between a Justin Fields and anybody who's basically a top 10 quarterback. So basically the guys in the upper percentile of the NFL. We're talking about your Patrick Mahomes. I'm pretty sure we're talking about probably even I can't even think of Buddy name and for the Chargers right now, but probably even him. When Patrick Mahomes notices something about a defense, that dude is making an adjustment. He's going over to the sideline and he's telling his coach, he's like, hey, Andy Reid, when we came out in this XYZ whatever play, I seen the safety line up over here, over here, Yo, we got whatchamacallit wide open. This is what we gonna do. Let's call this. Let's set it up, and then let's go back to that play. But this time, I'ma hit da-da-da. We have seen the literal film. They have film of this dude, of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes talking strategy on the sideline, making game time adjustments, go out there, they call the play, touchdown. I think that's the one thing that we don't necessarily get from Justin Fields, is because I don't think I've ever seen that situation or heard of that scenario or situation where Justin Fields is making those audibles. He's making those tweaks. He's noticing what the defense is doing, and then he's going and talking to his coach, and he's like, hey, yo, we need to call this because I notice whenever they come out and da-da-da, if we call this while they're in that defense, and then let's say we hurry up and do a no huddle and get guys lined back up, while they're in that defense, I know for a fact that DJ's going to be wide open. And either he's taking it to the house, right? Justin Fields hits that level, we're good. That's the one thing he ain't unlocked yet, I feel like. He ain't unlocked that yet. Last thing I'm going to hit on. You have to realize this. I'm not pro Caleb Williams. I am very much pro Justin Fields. I'm not pro Caleb Williams, but sad reality, a lot of things are leaning towards Caleb Williams getting drafted. And this is why I'm saying this. For Ryan Poles, this is a career decision. This ain't just a business decision. It's a career decision. You cannot, essentially, you cannot be in the situation he's in, having the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row and passing on a quarterback twice. The first time around, it was acceptable, it was fine, it was okay, because the entire NFL knew we got Justin Fields. We're going to build on Justin Fields. He's only going to get better. We good. We Gucci. The Bears got their quarterback. They're still working on him, but they got their quarterback. They not drafting one. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, right? None of them guys coming out were being hit with generational talent tag. None of them had generational talent being slapped next to their name. If anything, I think CJ Stroud got the short end of the stick over some BS. And then we see what happens. So you see what happens with CJ Stroud. Hindsight is 2020. We can't sit here and be like, the Bears should have drafted CJ Stroud. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic. I don't think a single person thought the Bears were going to draft CJ Stroud or take a quarterback in general. Let's be honest. A couple people who just want clicks and likes and views might have said that Bears weren't drafting a quarterback. CJ Stroud panned out. It was the perfect storm for the Houston Texans. It all worked out. This is the other part you got to realize and understand. Caleb Williams, the level of hype behind him is not the same as Young or Stroud. I think Caleb Williams' hype even is surpassing Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields when they came out, right? The level of hype, we have heard numerous people be like, Caleb Williams is an Andrew Luck level of quarterback talent. When you hear some shit like that, it becomes damn near impossible to not take that guy. If the Bears make the playoffs, Justin Fields balls out and secures the confidence of the org that he is the guy, we're good. We're Gucci. We're solid. We trade that number 1 pick once again for a king's ransom. Not even a king's ransom, but we trade it again for a super huge haul. And we move on with life. We got our guy. We're going to get him even more weapons. We're going to try to make some, we fuck around, get Marvin Harrison Jr. Oh yeah, Bears are definitely finna be clapping cheeks. But no, Bears don't make the playoffs. We're in not a good situation. Ryan Poles don't want to be unemployed. He's in a situation because if Caleb Williams ends up on some other team's roster and he ends up being indeed that guy, oh, it's not going to end well. Poles and them gone. There ain't going to be because the entire NFL is going to be like the Bears have now once again passed up on a franchise-changing quarterback. We already are still to this day going through the bullshit of not drafting Patrick Mahomes. Matter of fact, it's not even going through the bullshit of not drafting Patrick Mahomes. It is going through the bullshit of moving up to take Trubisky over Mahomes and multiple other quarterbacks that were available. Bears would not have to have moved up to take in Patrick Mahomes. We moved up to take Trubisky and gave away a lot of potential talent that would have helped us in the future to take Trubisky, who we ended up moving on from. And then we now have the Chiefs' kingdom becoming a true dynasty. And that dude was just available. Like, yeah, it's an evil world we live in. But here's, like I said, hindsight is 2020. Here's the other thing. This was the other thing I always tell people. Bears could have drafted Mahomes and he not ended up being who he is today. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Bears could have drafted Mahomes and he ended up not being the Patrick Mahomes that we see today. That's very possible. Very possible. So, Bears get shat on for not taking Mahomes. But yeah, it's like you don't want to. Bears pass on Caleb Williams, and if Caleb Williams ends up being that guy for somebody and literally lead some team to a Super Bowl or playoffs year after year after year, because if he ends up in the NFC, and now it ends up whatever team he is versus the Chiefs for the next damn 10 years in the Super Bowl, the Bears are going to be the laughing stock of the NFL, like hands down. They're going to be like, you had your guy, you did not pull the trigger, that's on y'all, have fun. So it's a career decision for Poles. We know Justin said, just trade me, just let me know, just let me move on. This is the business. Bears have to do their due diligence. They need to actually see Caleb Williams at the combine. They need to actually get that final reassuring whatever just to know. Because let's say something happens. Let's say this combine happens and Caleb Williams seems just above average, right? He don't seem like this superstar generational talent that everybody named Mom saying he's going to be. Maybe that just reassures the Bears, you know what? Let's keep Justin and let's build, right? Let's keep Justin and let's build. There's still teams blowing up our phone for that number 1 pick. You know what? I don't like what I saw out of Caleb Williams. We'll keep Justin. We'll keep him, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. I promise you. One man's trash, another man's treasure. I do not remember Patrick Mahomes being viewed as generational, right? That tag wasn't next to his name. It wasn't. Like, matter of fact, right, he went to Texas Tech, right? Most quarterbacks typically viewed out of Texas Tech are viewed as system quarterbacks. It is a pass-happy team. Like Texas Tech, that's where you go when you want to throw the ball. Everybody knows this. You want to have ridiculous passing stats? Go to Texas Tech. Right? I don't know who the hell the scout was. That dude had to have gotten a nice little bonus for finding Patrick Mahomes. Right? He had to. But whoever it was that was confident to be like, that's our guy, that's all that was. There was no real thing that was like, you got to take Patrick Mahomes. There wasn't. It just so happened to pan out that Patrick Mahomes ended up being GOAT level quarterback. Right? Get off the Bears' neck. There was no way to know. And like I said, Bears could have got Mahomes and he would not have ended up the way he is today. Let's be honest. We have to be more logical. We got to be more realistic with what's going on. The Bears can't just trade Justin without truly crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's on Caleb Williams. You can't do it. Peace.